will also speak in English. I am sorry because my Spanish is really awful, and it's on my wish list to learn. I think that's very important, but okay. So I am going to talk a little bit about the XPATHS project, I decided to focus my presentation a little bit on how we are using theater in this scenario and pathways work that we are doing. But before just to present myself, I am currently at the Stockholm Resilience Center, but I am also a researcher at INPE, the Brazilian Institute for Space Research. And my background is a bit technical. I come from the computer science and remote sensing area. Originally I was a land use modeler. I was working a lot in the Amazon. But because of this, I really felt that I needed to understand better the process behind the things that I was trying to model. So after I finished my PhD, I started going a lot to the field and working a lot with participatory process at multiple scales. So, and that's what led me here. So I am just going to talk a little bit about my previous work and how all this came, this theater came naturally in the work, and then I'm going to talk about XPATHS. And if you can please, when I have talked for 15 minutes, if you can tell me, just so that I don't. So yes, like around 2010, we started working in a project where we were trying to see if just a type of participatory scenario processing, backcasting process could help just because if you look at the Amazon, you only see trees, but the truth is that behind that there is like a mosaic of several types of territories, different people and rules. So we were working in a settlement around the Amazon River that's called the Pálago Grande, and there we did the first multi-scale participatory process. It was to discuss with people their desired futures, and then we were working started working in this multi-scale approach. So in this work we had this area. It's quite large in Brazil, and then it has, I think, that 200 communities, and we chose 3 communities in different areas, and then we applied a process that was like repeated in every scale in the 3 communities and for the full settlement with different actors. And then we were trying to bring, like the whole idea was to bring these voices from the communities to the decisions at the territorial, at the settlement level with these other actors that were acting there. And then theater simply happened, and it's quite magical because at a certain point, like we were in these communities working, discussing their visions for the desired future of these communities. And very interesting, this links to what Isabel was saying, because this area is a traditional community area, and they are threatened by these mining companies that is in Juruti, very close to the settlement. So they were talking about that, and then they decided, and from the beginning, at every step of the way, we asked them to like do a synthesis, a creative synthesis only them to write. And then they decided themselves that they were going to create a play to show during the night, because it was a 2 days workshop, because they wanted to show it to the kids of the settlement. And that's them. And this guy here, in fact, is the guy from the mining company that wants to take their land and make them move to the city. And then we incorporated this in the process. So this is in the other community. And you see here is all the kids, and they are showing it during the night without our interference. This is the doctor and etc. And they are showing. So, and it was very interesting that then, not the plays, but these texts that they wrote, we went and we showed that they went there and read their stories about the future for the people that of the municipality or the NGOs that act on the settlement. And this is the kind of environment that we were. So it was I think that it was very successful in using this art process, both to make this ownership of their stories and also to communicate emotionally to the actors at the other scales. So that happened there in 2010, 12. And then time passed, and I came to Stockholm to work in this initiative that's the World 2050. That's about to create global scenarios to reach the SDGs, sustainable scenarios, like to represent alternative pathways, in the sense that we know that there are different visions about sustainability and coexisting, to represent these different pathways using these global models. So it was a super challenge. And then I decided with colleagues here at the Stockholm Resilience Center that we did want that the narratives for the new scenarios shouldn't be defined only by the modelers in Europe. We really wanted to make them open to the perspectives in the global south, in Africa, in South America, etc. So then we combined some of the methods that I have used before with this multi-scale, with these 3 horizons framework for discussing pathways, and we kind of evolved on that. We have some publications on that. Laura Pereira is a co-author, and we were there in this environment. And then with some friends, we applied for this XPATHS project that I'm going to talk about. It was a large call from Formas, that's the science, the Formas, it's like our CNPq, and it's a large call for the related to the SDGs. And then we decided to focus on the dry lands. It was a lot because I have a colleague here that works in Senegal, and we really wanted to find a way to connect Brazil and Senegal, and also we have colleagues from Spain, so we selected these 3 countries. And the idea is that we have this participatory multi-scale process to advance the knowledge about leverage points and barriers to reach the SDGs in this context, and also to relate this to Sweden and Europe and their policies and the good and bad actions, etc. It's a large project, and the entry point, of course, is the Nexus, food, water, energy. In the case of Brazil, very important, etc. And in the same way as before, why we are working on multiple levels, because our assumption is that to reach these globally defined targets, you need to make sense of them at different at different levels, and they need to be translated into actions that make sense for people in different contexts. So our approach is based on what I have combined several of our previous experiences. So just think about multi-scale, participatory process, the use of creative products and theater to connect scales and for ownership and for synthesizing. Also this idea about multiple perspectives, about pathways, and this is a very important thing, different from before. In my previous work, we tried to reach consensus, try to define a common vision, and now it's very clear, and we have been develop this process really to allow for multiple perspectives and tensions to arise. We also are not talking about specific SDGs. We are really focusing on the core problems and the core process, systemic process behind the SDGs. So we are looking at them in an integrated way and using a lot of system thinking also. And all of these combined to an action, it's really a science action, because my colleague, this colleague that worked in Senegal, she was responsible for the Wayfinder prototype in Senegal. Wayfinder is a guide for discussing transformation at the very local level. So we combined some elements of both processes. And basically what we have is that the idea is that at multiple scales, we create a coalition with actors that have a network that acts there. We apply this this process that we develop and modify it based on these three horizons. And then with them, they design a kind of an action plan that based on all this understanding across the scale that they are going to pursue later. And oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, that's right. So I just want to show him in the case of Brazil, what's our focal area. So it's Brazil, but it's a semi-arid, but inside the semi-arid, we choose a focal area, and each country is this way. So in our case, it's the San Francisco Basin. And inside the San Francisco Basin, we have three local, because Brazil is very big. So our local is in fact three sub-regions here that are like a cluster of municipalities in the region of Barreiras. That's where the agribusiness expansion is, and you have several types of conflicts, etc. Petrolina, Juazeiro, and Campina Grande, that's here, that's in the driest area in the Caatinga. So I'm not going to show the regions in the other countries, but they did the same. So we repeated the process like for this focal area and for these three sub-areas. For in each area, and this is something that we have done already, we are done with this phase. We mapped the actors, the power structures, we defined who to invite to these dialogues. We involved around more than 300 people, I think that 400 people in the 4 countries in these multiple dialogues. And now we are entering this phase of building these action plans based on the analysis of all the data that we have, that we are organizing and will be discussing with the actors next year. And so this is an example of one of our dialogues using these 3 horizons, and also using like causal loop diagrams that are these systems dynamic tool and the SDGs, etc. I think that, yeah. So just, and then where the arts enter here. So the three horizons, for those who don't know, how much time do I have?
Just about 8 more minutes.
Okay. So the idea is that we first use this is kind of the time, okay? And we first discuss with people what are the features of the system that we want to increase, what's our desired future. And then we ask people to synthesize using some creative process as we did before. And then we have this, what are the problems of the present, and then we go deep with these causal loop diagrams, and then based on that, we start discussing the action. So it's basically a backcasting exercise, but we have this visual thing. And at every step of the way, we do the synthesis that can be creative, and we also go taking notes of divergences. And we repeat then this process in all those scales, and then we compare them. These are the thing about the divergences. So as I said, we are here, we did all the dialogues, we are doing now this cross-scale analysis. And then we are going to design this co-designed plans, the theater that I'm going to show you, and then we are going to analyze the role of EU and Sweden in the core problems and solutions that have been discussed, and we are also going to do some modeling. And we are going to have a EU dialogue, and the project ends next year. So theater, just for you to see. This is how the people in Senegal are using in the process. After they have discussed the solutions for the problems and how to achieve the desired future, they asked people to create a play representing these problems and the solution. And now in the upcoming dialogue, that's a cross-scale dialogue, they are going to show this, and people are going, so it's kind of a theater. For a theater, the people are going to be able to play it again with the national actors that will be present. In Spain, they use a theater all over during the process as a synthesis in every step of the way, also adapting on theater. And in Brazil, we use this in a bit of a different way. We took all the creative processes, the products that were generated at the several scales. We worked together with a theater company, and they created a play that was played during our cross-scale dialogue that in the case of Brazil has already happened. And it was super nice. People were very emotional seeing their words and their conflicts showing in a play. So this is the play, and now we are going to do it again based on people's input. We are going to film it again for the EU dialogue, and this is already available on YouTube. So this is my last slide. Yeah, the theater is really a part of the process in several ways, both in the during each dialogue. And I think that this thing about ownership, it creates trust in the team, help people to navigate the complexity and prioritize, synthesize, balance power relations that might be in the groups. But also it helps to make this cross-scale communication and also the broad communication for society, like the YouTube video. That's it. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Paula.
That's us last week. We had our group meeting here.
We still have a few minutes. If we can take any questions or comments from the floor. I know you have to lecture. Bom dia ou boa tarde, Ana Paula Clementino aqui, agora em português.
Bom dia. Uhum.
Eu fiquei com uma dúvida sobre a forma como... Consegue me ouvir?
Sim, tá meio ruim, mas eu consigo.
Eu fiquei curioso sobre os grupos no Brasil. Você comentou que após todo o trabalho de coleta das informações, o grupo de teatro personaliza essa performance. Tem algum tipo de performance realizada pelos próprios grupos, como um ensaio, como uma forma de utilizar essas narrativas a partir da coleta de dados que vocês fizeram?
Eu não sei se eu tá bem falhado, mas você perguntou se os próprios grupos fizeram a performance, no caso do Brasil, ou...
Isso também, antes do grupo de teatro.
Não, então, no caso do Brasil, não. No caso da Espanha e do Senegal, eles estão fazendo assim. No nosso caso, as pessoas escreveram histórias, escreveram poesia, escreveram poesia, aquela poesia que tem no Nordeste, que eu não vou lembrar o nome agora. E aí, com base nesses produtos todos...
Cordel?
Cordel, isso. Com base nesses produtos todos, a gente colocou tudo no arquivo e passou para o pessoal do teatro, que também estava numa das oficinas. E aí, junto com eles, a gente construiu o script. Foi isso que a gente fez. E aí, a gente apresentou e eles comentaram. I'm sorry, I'm speaking Portuguese. I don't know if the others understand Portuguese. Yeah, that's what we did in the Brazilian case.
We have another question for you.
Well, I speak slowly English, but no. I was wondering if evident conflict.
I can't understand anything.
Later, is going to make using the chart. Look at the chart.
Sorry. Maybe if you want to write in the chat.
I have a question for you in the chat.
No, are you sure? Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, this is very important. If there were conflicts between the participants and how these were dealt in during the theater plays. Yeah, we had lots of conflicts in all the dialogues. What we did was, especially in Barreiras, because we had these groups with the social movements and NGOs, and also we brought like large business and the governments, local governments that are very connected to the agribusiness. And of course, there were different perspectives. We managed the conflicts, but what the play shows is, if you there was this is exactly the conflict that Isabel was talking to. It's like a large company. It doesn't say if it's a mining or an energy one, because in the Caatinga you have lots of conflicts now. But it's a guy from this large company that is from Europe that's going to the community, and the whole play is about their different perspectives, and without a solution, because there is no solution for now, because really the thing is that there are just two narratives about what's a sustainable future, what are the desirable futures, and they one is very developmentist and the other one is not. So the play is about that, exactly about the conflict. You can watch the play.
Ana Paula, can you hear me now better?
Yes, now I can.
Okay. Any other questions or comments from the floor? This is Mika. Well, thank you very much. I'm not missing anything. Thank you very much, Ana Paula.
That's okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.